Hello, my YouTubers. I am here today to discuss with you the topic that I actually discussed 2 weeks ago, the coronavirus. So, as we know, it is now a pandemic. So, everybody's running around crazy. And nothing's in the supermarket. Everybody's buying up the meats. Everybody's buying up the Lysol. Everybody's buying up everything, the bleach, water. I mean, if you was to go to the supermarket right now, you probably wouldn't be able to find anything. You know, and I just feel bad for the elderly people who didn't get the chance to make it out to actually buy any of these things that they need. But hopefully, you know, everybody gets what they need during this time of crisis. We need to actually look out for our neighbors. We need to look out for everyone that we hold dear to us. So, guys, I really want to know how you guys feel about the coronavirus and what you guys really, what's your take on this, dealing with the quarantine and how they want you to stay in the house, how the schools are shutting down, how everything is just spreading like wildfire. I mean, they don't have enough tests to test all of the people in the USA, the US of A, the United States of America. We are in a crisis, I tell you. So, one thing that I wanted to mention was, you know, me knowing exactly, you know, what's going on now with the situation with the coronavirus. I'm hearing allegedly that China knew that they had this virus and that they didn't expose themselves. They actually hid it and they tried to, you know, hide it. Basically, they tried to hide it and it got out of control, and therefore now it is across the globe. So because of China, we are now in a pandemic. So you believe that if they would have said something sooner or done something sooner, that this would have not been the case? Or do you think that it would have happened anyway? You know, China and Italy, their numbers are soaring really high. The only place on the map that actually is not infected with this virus is actually West Virginia. So if it's any place that you want to go to be safe, West Virginia might be the place that you decide to go to. I believe that they said also Africa. They don't have a lot of people in Africa with the virus. There are a few cases in Jamaica. And the cases that are in Jamaica, I believe they're Caucasian. I'm not really sure. Don't quote me on that. But, you know, allegedly a lot of melanated people have not, you know, a lot of melanated people have not been catching this virus. I don't think that it is a thing for the melanated people such as myself and my brothers and sisters. So therefore maybe we just might miss that, you know, fatal virus that is here to attack mankind. Us melanated people, we might just miss that mark, which is a blessing from God. Is this, you know, karma coming around? Is this karma coming around to the universe? And the universe is actually crying out. The earth is dying, as you can see. You know, they have it's a lot of signs. We're living in the last days, and basically that's what it is. And you know, right now we just have to take this serious, and we have to do what's supposed to be done. Self-quarantine, stay home, stay away from crowds. You know, if you have underlying health issues, don't find yourself at work risking your health for a corporate company that will actually just find another employee if anything were to happen to you. You know, try your best to take care of your health, build your immune system, drink your orange juice, drink your, you know, your fruit juices, and, you know, juice. Use your ninja, you know, make natural juices, eat your seaweed. Just do what you're supposed to do to build your immune system up, because that is what you need to survive. And you know, so basically right now, I just want to know from your point of view, are you angry that the Chinese people of China hit this from the world? When I say the world, I mean the whole globe. You know, like when I look at Earth itself, I didn't realize it looks so small to me now that this is going on. The world used to seem so big, and now it seems so small because this virus is single-handedly attacking person to person, and it is just really, really sad. A lot of people already have died from this virus. And I'm gonna look at my phone right now and try to find I'm gonna look at my phone and try to find the stats if I can find it. Troy, can you turn that down? Close the door.
Don't forget about the underlying elements.
I said that already.
No, you didn't. You just said people just juice and stuff.
I said that already if you would listen. So yes, guys, I was trying to find the stats in my phone because I actually had, a few days ago, I actually had screenshotted the stats on my phone so that I can forward the information to you guys. So in China, as of a few days ago, I would say 3 days ago, there are 80,652 people that are infected with this virus. New cases are at 100 and total deaths are at 3,000. So 3,000 people have died from this virus in China. So Italy at that time was at 5,883. Italy has single-handedly jumped from 5,883 all the way up to about 20,000 people. In the midst of a week, they have jumped from 5,000 to 20,000 people, which is a lot. At that time, there were only about 361 people in the USA with this virus. I believe now the numbers and the stats have jumped up to, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, maybe in the 4,000s. So around that time, there were only 17 people that have died in the USA from this. It has doubled. So, you know, I'm just basically, you know, I basically feel like this virus is a very serious thing. It is to be taken serious. A lot of people are dying. A lot of people are not taking this serious. A lot of people are making memes and, you know, taking it as a joke when this is very serious. They are, you know, implementing martial law on us, the people. They actually already have forcefully quarantined the people in China, which they're actually complaining, saying that they haven't ate for days. They're locked in the house. They can't go outside. So this is very serious. I mean, in the United States, I'm currently right now in New York City. So in New York City, it doesn't really seem as though things have changed because, you know, New York is the place to be, so they don't really want to lock it down. They want to kind of keep it going, but I feel like that could be a little dangerous because we don't know who's passing it to who. You know, they don't even have enough tests to test all of these people. So I basically feel like maybe everybody should quarantine for 2 weeks. A lot of people are still working. I don't feel like people should be going to work. I feel like if they want to tackle this virus, that everybody should just stay home. That is the key. Stay home, so therefore there aren't any new cases. You know, why send people outside? Why send people to work? Why force the people to go to work? Now, if you guys, anybody on my channel right now, if you live in New York City, you know that the subway is a disaster. There is no room. You cannot breathe. You can't stretch. You can't even turn around on the subway without bumping into somebody. So there are hundreds of people daily on the subways, which if this is somewhat of an airborne virus, you can imagine everyone breathing, coughing, and sneezing on the subways. The viruses that are connecting and transmuting from person to person and surface to surface. That's why I believe it's so dangerous. I believe that the MTA is definitely not the place for us New Yorkers to be during this time of crisis. You know, a lot of people are wondering, wow, how am I going to make it to next month? How am I going to make it if I'm not able to work? So because of that, I understand a lot of people, you know, can't grasp the fact that this is a serious thing and that if you catch it, you might not see 2021. They don't understand that. Some people do, a lot of people don't. You know, for the most part, a lot of people are quarantining themselves because they actually showed Times Square, and a lot of people aren't there. A lot of foreigners, a lot of tourists aren't there. It's a lot of money that is actually, you know, it's a lot of money right now that a lot of businesses are losing out on. A lot of companies, restaurants, they are considering closing down. Do you really visualize that? A lot of these restaurants that you walk past on the daily, they actually are considering closing down, and this has only been in a matter of 3 weeks. So if you ask me, they were living check to check. They obviously were living check to check if they're considering closing down, and it hasn't even been a month yet. I believe the government needs to help families that need the assistance. Some of these children don't have a way to eat. So when they go to school, that's when they eat their lunch. You know, some of these children don't have food at home. So a lot of children might not have the luxury of eating breakfast and lunch right now, you know. Ma, can you please stop? I'm trying to record. Can you give him his pacifier, please?
You can get over here?
Yes, I can.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So a lot of these children actually will not get the chance to have their breakfast and their lunch because they will not be in school to have it. They close the schools down. I believe that the government should have the schools closed down, but I believe that they should still serve breakfast and lunch. I believe that they should still serve breakfast and lunch for the children that need it. Whether they have to break it up, names A through L, and then names L through Z. However that they have to do it to make sure that these children are eating. Some families just can't afford to quarantine. Food is very expensive. Very expensive. A lot of people cannot afford to quarantine. A lot of people cannot afford to get this food so that they can quarantine for 2 weeks. So this is a very drastic situation, and it is to be taken seriously. I know a lot of people that are livid, especially with the Chinese people, because they hid this from the world. We have they hid it from everybody. Nobody knew. Everybody found out too late. So to me, it seems quite spiteful of them. I feel like they felt like if we have it, everybody could get it. They were sending their people in and out. They didn't quarantine themselves. Like, no, nobody can leave China until we get this under control. They were letting their people go wherever they wanted to go. To me, that's just devastating. I believe they should pay for that. I don't believe that it's right that they just get to go scot-free. Businesses, people's jobs, homes, thousands of people have already died. That is blood on their hands. Now I don't know how they're gonna get theirs, but they're gonna get theirs one way or another. I don't know if you guys seen it, but the Chinese, they actually are saying that this is America's fault. They're saying that America brought the virus to China. So I'm like, wow, they brought the virus to China. So now after all of this time, there are people that are dying. They're going to say that America brought the virus to China and that people were dying from this in America months before this even was exposed. From the flu. So they're trying to say that the people that were dying from the flu were really dying from the coronavirus. So if that's the case, then how come they have so many people that have died from this virus in China versus in United States? If that was the case, why are their numbers so high? If people were already dying from this virus in the USA, why are their numbers so high? It doesn't go hands in hand. It sounds like somebody's trying to opt their way out of the situation, and I just don't think it's right that, they didn't inform us humans, because we're all humans. They could have informed us humans. Listen, right now, we're locking China down. We're having a crisis over here. Therefore, we can't let people in or out. If you're not from China, you must evacuate and go back where you came from until this issue has been resolved. And for the people that actually were leaving China to go home, they could have quarantined those people, which could have been maybe 1,000 people, 800-900 people that were in China visiting from whatever state or whatever country that they came from. That would have been the appropriate thing to do, but instead they hid it from everybody. Now it's spreading like wildfire, and we have a pandemic. Out of all my years living on this earth, I've never been in a situation like this ever. Now, I'm quite sure that a lot of people that are watching this have not as well. You know, the last outbreak was SARS that came from China as well. They have a lot of viruses. The Chinese people always have these kind of viruses because of the things that they eat. They need to stop eating things that are not for human consumption. And they actually are still eating the same things that cause this virus. From my understanding, it jumped from a bat to a penguin and then to a human. So it came from bats, it transmuted to a penguin, and then it transmuted to humans. They eat all of those kind of things. They eat coyotes, rats, fox, penguins, bats, octopus. They eat dogs. They eat the things that you would not want to eat, you know, savage like people. I'm just gonna say, because I'm not gonna hold my tongue anymore. I don't feel like it, you know, I don't, no disrespect, I do have a couple of Chinese friends, you know, I have a couple of Asian friends, and you know, it's all love with them. I'm talking about the ones who caused this issue, the ones that were in China. So the people, the government of China that let this get out of control, that hid it from everybody. Now China is looking like a stepchild. That's what China is looking like, because everybody is against China. They're dealing with discrimination, something that us blacks and Hispanics have been dealing with since the beginning of time. So I don't feel bad that they have to go through what they have to go through like everybody else. The only people that have not been discriminated against on this earth are Caucasian people, and that's because they're the ones who actually manifest this whole discrimination thing by color and by status. That's not how it's supposed to be. We're all human. We're all supposed to be equal people. But right now, the Chinese are looking really bad, and they are at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to humans. In general, they're wrong. They need to be shut down. Somebody needs to call them out. Like I said, I have my Asian friends. I'm not talking about all Asian people. I'm talking about the government. Because, you know, there was a guy who actually blew the whistle on this virus. They silenced him. And he died from it. There was a couple of doctors that died from it. They knew what this was, and they did not stop it. So, if you mean to tell me, if the United States brought this virus to China, why were they hiding it in the beginning, if that's the case? If the United States brought this virus to China, why were they hiding it in the beginning? Why did the whistleblower die? Why didn't they take his word and fix the issue way in the beginning? If that was the case, then they would have been so, you know, they would have been so outraged that they believe that the United States dropped the bug over there in their country, and then it would have just been a problem from then on. They would have been shutting their borders down. But that's not the case. They let it bubble to the point where they could not handle it, and it got out of control, and they're still lying about the things that are going on right now. They had workers on the bus singing. They had their face masks on and they're crying. They're overworked. They're dealing with too many people. They're overworked. Their hospital systems are cracking down. They don't even have enough beds for all of these people. They're sending people home that aren't 100% healed from this virus. They have a lot of people living in China, so I don't believe that they care if, you know, a couple hundred people die. I really don't know. I would have to really speak to somebody from there and find out. But what I know is that me as an American, me being from here, from the United States, I know that, you know, that's not what we want here. We don't want our people dying. We don't want our people dying from the coronavirus. It's already enough black on black crime. It's already enough cops killing blacks. It's already enough people dying as is. You know, we need to get a grasp on this pandemic the best that we can. It's very scary and it's a very sensitive time, especially for people that have children, especially for people that have elders in their family who probably can't survive this actual pandemic. Now, I know that they do have employers that are exploiting and taking advantage of their workers, telling them to work even when they have underlying health issues. I believe that if you have an employer that is making you feel like you should go to work and you have underlying health issues, I believe that they can be sued. Because not only are they single-handedly hand-picking people that they know are vulnerable, but they actually are handing you your death certificate in so many ways. No, they don't care. It's not their concern. They're looking for that bottom number. See, it's going to be two bottom numbers at the end of the day. These corporations, they're looking for the bottom number, and the government is looking for that bottom number of the people that die. So you have to fall in between and be that smart person and stay in the middle. Keep yourself safe. Nobody's going to care about you more than you care about yourself. Nobody's going to care about you more than you care about yourself. So it is your job to make sure that you don't get this virus and pass it to everybody in your family. If you know that you have health issues and that you barely are making it as is, you know that you can't be as cleansy as you want to be. Because you have other things that you have to attend to dealing with your health, that it's going to be very hard for you to be cleansy as you should be. You're not going to be able to get up and move around and do what you need to do and wash your hands and make sure that nobody's coughing or no pebbles of nothing's flying on you, no spittles are coming your way. You need arm's distance. If you have underlying health issues, a lot of that can be a concern because now it's just extra work for you. Not only you should not have been working in the first place, but now there's a virus out here which is making it even harder for people to work. So now people have to pick and choose and decide. There are actually some people who are going into their life savings just to pay their employees. Talk about breaking the bank. There are people right now who own businesses who feel bad